Hey movie buffs, I'm Jack Benner, and welcome to my review of Alien Romulus. Alien Romulus is the newest and 7th installment in the Alien franchise, this time directed by Fede Alvarez. Set between Alien and Aliens, it follows a group of young space colonists in pursuit of better life conditions. They would later come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe. Alien from 1979 is a sci-fi horror classic and a masterpiece from Ridley Scott. Atmospheric and intense, slow-building tension, while Aliens from 1986 is a fantastic sci-fi action film from James Cameron. That is still one of the best sci-fi films ever made, one of the best sequels ever made, and one of James Cameron's very best films since Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It's been debated which is better, Alien or Aliens, and I am on a side that prefers Aliens. After the release of Aliens, it's been disappointing that none of the sequels were able to reach the same heights as those first two films. Alien 3 wasn't good and ruined by studio interference, Alien Insurrection being the worst one. In the 2000s, we would get two crossover movies with Aliens vs. Predator. In 2004, Alien vs. Predator. Very disappointing, that was the crossover we were waiting to see. PG-13 rating and the movie wasn't that good. Alien vs. Predator Requiem, it was rated R, but yeah, that one sucked, and let's not talk about that one. And in the 2010s, there were two Alien prequels from Ridley Scott. Prometheus, which I did enjoy. I did have some issues with the story and some stupid characters in that film, but I do think that it is a visually stunning movie and has great performances from Noomi Rapace and Michael Fassbender. However, I know it's divisive, but I'm on the side that did not like Alien Covenant. And again, characters were stupid, and just the story and where that story goes didn't really work for me. Oh, and I just remembered the line, "Watch me, I will do the fingering." Did he really say that line? And also, the ending of that film made me go, are you kidding me? What? No. Oh, come on. Although it's disappointing that we would never get a follow-up to Covenant and that sadly got canceled. That, and I remember Neil Blomkamp was interested in doing an Alien film. District 9 is one of my favorite sci-fi films of all time, and I enjoyed Elysium and Gran Turismo, and I would still hope that he would get a chance to direct an Alien movie someday. And hearing about this, I was very excited to see what director Fede Alvarez, coming off of Evil Dead 2013 and Don't Breathe, to see what he could bring to the table for a new film in the Alien franchise. And recent first-time watch to look into Fede Alvarez's filmography, I thought Don't Breathe was a great horror film. It was such a well-directed and suspenseful horror movie that had me on the edge of my seat throughout the runtime. Jane Levy gave a great lead performance, and Stephen Lang was such an intimidating, villainous performance. And also looking back to Don't Breathe, the turkey baster scene, one of the most disgusting scenes I've ever seen, and if you've seen the movie, you know what scene I'm talking about. Ugh. And this would be my pick for the best horror film of 2016. The first two trailers to Alien Romulus were awesome. That immediately got me excited. And I believed after watching the trailers, this had a lot of potential to be one of the best films in the Alien franchise. I love that it was going back to its roots of sci-fi horror like the first Alien, mixed in with some alien action from Aliens, and a talented horror director like Fede Alvarez to see what he could contribute, thus becoming one of my most anticipated movies of the summer. I saw Alien Romulus last week, opening night, excited, hope it doesn't disappoint me. Now, what are my thoughts on Alien Romulus? I think it's good, but I don't think it's great, and I do have some issues with it that do hold me back from loving it. But what I can say is, I did enjoy this movie as an intense and thrilling addition to the Alien franchise. Let's start with the pros. To start things off, from a visual and technical standpoint, it's all phenomenal. From the top-notch production design with the physical sets, without relying too much on a bunch of CGI and green screen. And this is also a stunning looking movie with amazing cinematography, particularly when it uses red or yellow color palette. Those shots look stunning. And the sound design is great too, that really adds to the tension so much, another skill that Fede Alvarez applied with Don't Breathe. Fede Alvarez definitely made the right choice when he thought out effects crew who worked on Aliens for the creature work here. I've always preferred when this franchise uses practical creature work when it comes to the xenomorph or the face huggers. That does amplify them more, being more of a menacing threat rather than just using CGI. And there were even some shots in this movie I was wondering, was this practical? Was this CGI? It's a little bit hard to tell at times. It made a great blend of both practical and CG effects, and it's pretty impressive since this movie had a budget of $80 million, and for a new film in the Alien franchise nowadays to have a budget below $100 million, very impressive. The two strongest performances from the cast: one, Kaylee Spaney as Rain. After loving her in one of my favorite films of the year so far, Civil War, I was very excited to see her performance in this film, and she's terrific here, giving a strong and formidable performance, whether in the more suspenseful scenes of this movie or in the dramatic scenes of the film. She's continuing to impress me as an actress, and she does a great job here. And not only Civil War, this, and next year, she has a role in Wake Up Dead Man, a new Knives Out mystery next year. I can't wait to see her in that, a new Knives Out mystery with Benoit Blanc, one of my most anticipated films next year. But who I think is the biggest standout of this film was David Johnson as their android brother, Andy. And this is the first time I've ever seen him act in a movie. Great first impression here. And I thought he gave the most engaging performance in the film. Where they started with the character, I was like, okay, I do like this character so far, but the turns they take with this character, I was hooked. And that was where his performance really started to shine. And after this, I'm definitely excited to see him in more movies after this. And the emotional core between those two siblings of Rain and Andy elevated this film much more and become one of the stronger elements of the film. And actually another supporting performance I do want to shout out, Isabella Merced. And let me just say this was a step up after Madame Web earlier this year, which was a steaming pile of shit. And she did give a really good supporting performance, selling the fear of her character later in the film, and this should be a sign I would love her to see her in more horror movies after this. And also, there is one scene with her character in the third act of this movie, and how I heard about this scene, it was so disturbing that the cast and crew had to look away from it. After seeing the movie, oh, they were right. Just watching that scene, I was like, And also next year, she is going to be playing Hawkgirl in James Gunn's Superman. Excited to see her in that, and hopefully that is another step up. And Fede Alvarez does a great job directing. He successfully applies his horror filmmaking skills greatly, from utilizing the isolation and claustrophobic horror, making it very atmospheric, from the great tension building that he used with Don't Breathe, and effective jump scares at times, but also does an excellent job combining both the sci-fi horror of Alien for the most part, and in the climax, the thrilling action of Aliens. And Fede Alvarez does a fantastic job at crafting suspenseful sequences. There's a facehugger sequence I love that was amazing. And quite honestly, the best scene in the movie, in the third act, involving zero gravity, that was amazing and creative. And it will go down as one of the most intense scenes of the Alien franchise. And I also want to shout out Benjamin Wallfisch's score. I loved his score when he collaborated with Hans Zimmer in Blade Runner 2049 and delivers another great musical score here. Sadly, I do have some problems with this movie. I will get to those right now. First issue I do have with this movie are the supporting characters. They do feel pretty one-dimensional, they don't really have a lot of depth to them, and also aren't really that memorable, and they do feel disposable. And next, in the first half, it does take a bit of a while to get going. And another issue I do have with this movie, while for the most part, I thought the effects in this film were phenomenal, there was one CG effect that was quite distracting. Now, I don't want to spoil too much about this effect, and how I vaguely describe it to how it distracted me is, it did remind me of a particular effect in Rogue One: A Star Wars Story and Tron Legacy, where seeing it once wouldn't be too bad, but the more times I kept seeing it, at times, it did start to take me out of the movie, and I was like, I'm not too sure about this. And lastly, after the amazing zero gravity sequence, there was one callback to Aliens, and it's one of the most famous lines of the movie. And when someone said that line, I just thought, did they really need to say that? That did feel a bit forced. To sum up, despite some of the supporting characters did feel a bit one-dimensional and does have some minor pacing issues in the beginning, Alien Romulus successfully works as a worthy standalone sequel that combines the great sci-fi horror tension of Alien and the thrilling action of Aliens. Elevated by strong filmmaking from Fede Alvarez, suspenseful sequences, incredible effects, and a good emotional core between its two main characters. Since this film is set between Alien and Aliens, do you have to watch those two movies prior to Alien Romulus? I think it would help, but I think you can enjoy this movie on its own as a standalone movie. I would definitely recommend this movie to you if you're fans of the Alien franchise and if you're excited to see this movie. And if you think this could be an exciting new addition to the Alien franchise, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. While I don't think it reached the same heights as Alien or Aliens, I would say it's a much better film than Prometheus and Alien Covenant. So I would say it is the best Alien sequel since Aliens. And now to grade it, I'm going to give Alien Romulus 3.5 stars out of 5, a B. I am thinking about seeing this movie again, so there might be a chance it could bump up to a B+ on a second viewing. If Fede Alvarez is planning on doing another Alien film at some point in the future, I would definitely be excited for it. I think he does have a lot of potential for this franchise. And I'm happy to hear this movie's doing very well at the box office, grossing $45 million on its opening weekend domestically, and currently worldwide it is at $100 million, and it's making its budget back, which is great to see. So even after Deadpool and Wolverine just made a killing at the box office, grossing $1 billion already, I'm glad to hear this film is also doing well at the box office since it came out in mid-August. And now, where would I rank Alien Romulus in my Alien ranking? Excluding the Aliens vs. Predator movies, just focusing on the Alien movies. Number 7 would be Alien Insurrection. Number 6 would be Alien 3. Number 5, Alien Covenant. Number 4, Prometheus. Number 3, that's where Alien Romulus stays. And number 2, Alien. And number 1, Aliens. So that right there is my Alien ranking, and I would love to hear your ranking of the Alien franchise in the comments below. So I would like to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of Alien Romulus if you've seen it? Do you agree, disagree with my review? Or if you haven't seen it, are you interested in seeing the film or not? Let me know down below. Did you enjoy hearing my thoughts on this movie? Want to see more reviews like this in the future? If yes, please hit that like and subscribe button if you're new here, and don't forget that notification bell for my next upload in the future. It really means a lot. All my social media links are in the description down below. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you want to see my written reviews, I do have a Letterboxd account, so if you'd like to follow me on there as well. And until the next video, I'm Jack Benner, and look forward to another movie review.